So last night on Thursday Night Football, the Dolphins lost to the Texans, and it wasn't a great game. It was kind of a blowout. The Texans scored 6 touchdowns. And, I do this segment called Zach is a Genius, where I nail things and sometimes I get things wrong. And in some ways, I nailed it last night, and in other ways, I totally missed. I want to start with the things I missed in last night's game between the Dolphins and the Texans. So when the Dolphins started off 3-0, I declared them a playoff team. And then week 4 happened. They got annihilated by the New England Patriots. Totally got whooped. Then Ryan Tannehill got hurt. Enter backup quarterback Brock Osweiler. And I found myself rooting for Brock Osweiler because I know he's got this really tough stigma behind his name. And I feel bad for the guy. Like, I don't think he's as bad as people believe he is. I think he's a solid backup. He's not worth the $72 million the Texans once upon a time paid him. But Brock Osweiler is a capable backup quarterback, similar to, ironically enough, Case Keenum. Case Keenum's the quarterback in Denver, and if they wanted a backup quarterback, they could have just hung on to Brock Osweiler, but they went the long way around. Now they're stuck with Case Keenum. Now, despite rooting for Brock Osweiler, I want the guy to remove the stigma from his name. The truth is, Brock Osweiler could not keep up with Deshaun Watson and the Texans offense last night. I mean, we saw field goals instead of touchdowns. The Texans had 6 touchdowns. The Miami Dolphins kept kicking field goals over and over again. And the truth is, they needed trick plays to move the ball. The Miami Dolphins kept running. They had that long touchdown. They stole the play from the Giants playbook. Throw it to Danny Amendola. Getting 2 teams confused. Danny Amendola throws it back across the field to Kenyon Drake. Beautiful touchdown. The problem was the only way they moved the ball was on these weird little trick plays. They had that ball that bounced off of someone's helmet into Devontae, what's his name? Into Devontae Parker's hands. And it's like, man, that's sad. Like, they couldn't use conventional offense to move the ball. They had a couple opportunities, but, and it's not entirely Brock Osweiler's fault. He threw an interception. I thought there should have been a holding call on the play. Danny Amendola got held and pulled, and he couldn't make a play at the ball. But regardless, Brock Osweiler's a backup, and he couldn't keep up with Deshaun Watson. Now, there are 2 more interesting narratives from last night's Thursday Night Football game. First one is this. Again, the Dolphins could not keep up with Deshaun Watson. He was 16 for 20, 239 yards, 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and Deshaun Watson finally settled in. He looked like he did at the end of last year before he got hurt. We saw this play on the goal line where he ran right, scrambled left, bought time, kind of convulsed his body, turned a weird way, threw the ball back to the right, scored a touchdown. It was awesome. And his leg looks really healthy. And this is where I was right. This is where I nailed it last night. When the Texans started 0-3, I made a video. I said, do not panic about Deshaun Watson. He's fine. Told you. I was right. 5 touchdowns last night. No interceptions. He looks great. He looks fantastic. I love what the Texans are doing on offense. They've got great play design, getting guys fairly wide open downfield. Deshaun Watson will buy time, throw the ball. It's great. I told you guys. Deshaun Watson's fine. Now, the number 2 narrative from last night was, in fact, Devontae Parker, the receiver for the Miami Dolphins. He had 6 catches, 134 yards. This is really the first time he's been on my radar. I've never really paid attention or cared about him before. And it was really, really encouraging. Now, we had this crazy catch, bounced off a guy's helmet. That contributed significantly to his 134 yards. But there are 2 plays, 2 opportunities Devontae Parker had to grab my attention. On one of them, he delivered, and on another play, he did not. So he had a chance to get massive respect, and Devontae Parker still gets some respect, but he did certainly lose out on one opportunity. So on 3rd and 1, Brock Osweiler threw a slant to Devontae Parker. It was behind him. He convulsed his body, caught the ball behind his back, made the play, 3rd and 1, first down for the Dolphins. Devontae Parker came up clutch. That's the most memorable play he made last night, in my opinion. It's ingrained in my brain. Because, you can talk about that big catch over the top, yada, yada. I don't care about any of that. Are you clutch? Can you deliver on the big moments on 3rd and 1? Devontae Parker did. However, on 3rd and 4, he dropped a corner. He had a guy on his back, but the ball hit his hands. 3rd and 4, late in the game, he dropped it, couldn't make the play. And so that's where, I'm now putting Devontae Parker on my radar. But he did miss an opportunity last night. A big play on 3rd and 4, couldn't deliver, and it's hard not to hold that against him. I won't. He did deliver on 3rd and 1, but you got to make both of those plays for me to go, nice. That's the guy who really is a number 1 receiver for the Dolphins. Now he's coming off injuries, yada, yada. I don't know. But it's worth noting Devontae Parker is worth watching down the road. So last night I got some things wrong. I said the Dolphins were a playoff team. I don't know that they are. Ryan Tannehill got hurt. They can't beat the Patriots. It's not very encouraging. And I was right about the Texans, though. I nailed that. The Texans were fine. They started 0-3. Said, don't panic. Deshaun Watson, told you so. He's fine. So Deshaun Watson, pay attention to Devontae Parker. And we'll see. Are the Dolphins a playoff team? I don't know. It's not encouraging. Looking forward for the Dolphins. I don't know what to make of them. They're not very encouraging. I don't know they're going to be capable of making a playoff spot. My name is Zach Schaumler. I just want to say thank you so much for watching. It means a ton to me. This is my podcast, Strong Opinion Sports. It's my pride and joy, my favorite thing in the entire world. If you're not aware, you can subscribe to Strong Opinion Sports on iTunes, on SoundCloud, and on YouTube. You can find the full entire hour-long podcast on YouTube, as well as shorter, interesting breakouts like the one you just watched. And if you really want to help me grow, it would mean a lot to me if you shared this with your friends on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever it is. Help me grow Strong Opinion Sports by telling your friends about this show. My name is Zach Schaumler. Thank you so much, and have a great day.